Hey, it's Carrington with K&K's Indie Gaming Corner. Of course, I'm your host, Carrington, as I said already, on this wonderful early morning. And then with me, I've got my good friend, Kyle.
I am here, and can I say that was such a lovely intro? That was like you nailed it. That was perfect.
Thank you.
Especially
Thank you.
with it being early. It's the coldest weekend I believe I've ever lived through.
It is definitely up there. I was just talking about this with the family yesterday. The last time it was this cold here in Ohio, they had to cancel school because that's where I was working. I was working for a school. They had to cancel school not because of snow, because it was too cold, because the
Yeah,
pipes were frozen.
yeah, that's a thing. So it hit. I think it hit -11
Officially,
with
yeah, without the wind chill.
without wind chill. With wind chill is like -30 in the 30s.
Yeah.
I don't think I personally, I don't remember a winter living in where it was below zero.
Wow. See, that's wild to me because you're not that far away. Well,
Right.
previously, you did not live that far from here.
And it's normal here. It
Every
didn't,
few years or so.
it hit the teens last year, or it hit the tens last year. It teetered close
hmm
to zero, but it did not officially hit below zero.
That's more normal. Like
Hmm.
the single digits, the teens, that's more normal. Hitting below zero and the roads being completely frozen, and that's doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Yeah. So I lasted less than 10 minutes outside trying to play with the kids.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it's
Yeah.
too cold to do that.
Yeah. It was brutal, but cold weather means perfect gaming weather, right? Or gaming
Absolutely.
environment.
I've been playing lots of games over the weekend because that's all I've had time for.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I feel like a couple really good games have released recently, and
hmm
um honestly it's the end of the year, so there's been a lot of incredible games that have dropped throughout the year, which
Absolutely. And sometimes there are games that just surprise us with a surprise release when
Mhm.
we're least expecting
Oh
it.
man. That was so surprising.
I remember going through my phone on I think it was on Friday because I was off Friday, just scrolling through news, just in general news, world news, gaming news, all news.
Mhm.
And then I just ran across an article. It was just like Sports Story
Mhm.
surprise release on the Nintendo Switch. I'm like, wait, what?
So I knew the game was releasing in December. They had teased that it was
hmm
releasing in December for a little while now, and we're today's December 25th, and I was thinking a couple days ago, when is this game releasing? There's only a few more days left. Is it going to be like a Christmas release, or is it
hmm
what are they going to do? And yeah, my buddy texted me, he said Sports Story just dropped. So random.
It is very random.
Which I know Golf Store was their first game. I don't know if they led
hmm
to like a big announcement slash release for it, or if they did the same thing where they just dropped it. That would be something worth looking into.
I don't remember. I remember we covered it, but I don't remember how it all went down as far as like release and stuff. It just popped into our lives one day, Golf Story, and then we couldn't stop playing it and put it down.
Mhm.
And I have that same feeling with Sports Story.
That's good to hear. What are your thoughts on Sports Story, and maybe kind of give a for those? I feel like a lot of people today still don't know what Golf Story is,
It's
and I
true.
preach about that game constantly. So maybe give um, listeners slash viewers an idea of what the game is like.
So it is a top-down 16-bit style game. Of course, you do play golf. However, there is a twist. It is an RPG, so you have stats and your different like clubs and things have different advantages, disadvantages, yada yada yada. So you do the craziest things in Golf Story. You don't just play golf. Like you do unlock like golf courses and it gets harder as the game progresses and things, but you're also doing quests that require golfing, like,
Mhm.
oh, hey, my cat's stuck in a tree. Boom, you hit the tree and the cat falls out. I remember there's a zombie apocalypse randomly in as one of the quests. You have to, kill zombies with by golfing.
Mhm.
It ranges from the normal quests you get in RPG to the crazy and zany things that you just don't expect and you don't know what's going to happen. Uh, every minute, there's a new surprise waiting for you right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Sports Story throws in that same element too.
Hmm.
Um, and Golf Story is one of my favorite games of the Switch. Um, I feel like it is one of the best games of the last decade.
Yeah, yeah, I'd put it up there. And
What?
it's weird to say because it is a Switch exclusive too. So it's not even
Mhm.
like I can't be like, oh, it's on every system. You have an excuse or you don't have an excuse. No, it's Switch only. So if all you Switch owners listening out there, you must play Golf Story.
Yes. Yeah. It's fantastic. I don't know if I ever see it on sale though either. So I don't know. It's
It's
what,
not
15
expensive though
bucks.
either.
It's
Yeah,
worth it.
15 bucks. Yeah.
And you get hours and hours. I mean, it's a full on RPG style. Well,
Hmm.
sports RPG, right?
Yeah, because you don't fight. You just play golf and do
Golf,
quests.
right? Yeah. But what I appreciate about both games is the writing
Hmm.
in the game. It's very tongue in cheek and very witty, and it makes you. Um, it makes me laugh out loud. I don't
Yeah,
know if it
it
does. Yeah.
legitimately gives me laughs. Like it
Yeah.
legitimately does. Which I find when it comes to video games, it's a really hard thing to do to pull off comedy.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It really is. So I right away, Sports Story gets right into the witty humor
Hmm.
that Sidebar Games is known for making and writing and giving to our lovely hearts. Um, I'm just I don't even know if I'd say it. I feel like I'm an hour in, a little over an hour in Sports Story, but from what it sounds like, you have a lot more time into the game.
Yeah, I'd say maybe three or four, and the majority of that was yesterday because I think Friday when it dropped, I just started a file,
Hmm.
and then yesterday I'm like, all right, I've got time before I go to this family dinner thing, and I played for a good, like I said, 3 4 hours yesterday.
So comparing the two, what do you like about Sports Story? Do you feel like it's doing it something new, or do you feel like it's delivering more of the same content that you want from Golf Story?
So I will say it does give me what I expect out of a sequel. It takes what was in the original and improves on it even more. So there is a lot of I haven't played like a bunch of sports yet.
Hmm.
I've only done golf, of course. Um, volleyball
Right.
and soccer, I think, are the three I've played so far. And they are the game. First of all, I'll say the game controls real solid. And on top of that, the animation takes a huge jump up from Golf
Yeah,
Story
I got that too.
soccer or to Sports Story. Like it is a huge jump up, and it was like whoa. And it's if you play Golf Story, it's immediately apparent how
Hmm.
much the animation has improved.
Yeah, I started questioning that when I first started. I thought this looks better. I need to go back to Golf Story and see if there's a huge change or not. But yeah, you're right. It is a big difference in the graphics.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The quests I find this time around slightly harder, not impossible, but definitely
Hmm.
challenging.
I haven't run into that yet,
Yeah,
but
you're
I'm
still
on
very
us
early.
on
Yeah,
the starting area.
yeah.
Can I just mention the float ride mission? Not mission, but the
The floaty race. I think they call it a
yeah,
race. Yeah, I actually
yeah.
didn't do that. Um, I don't know. I was just doing stuff, and I somehow skipped it.
I feel like I'm missing the point of it. So you pay 25 cents for 5 minutes, or like $1.25 for I don't know something longer
Hmm.
than 5 minutes, and you just float in a circle for
Really?
5 minutes.
I wonder if that's some joke that's just going over
That's what I'm
going
thinking,
over the head. You know, it's
or
because
maybe I'm missing the point of the floaty race. It's right at the beginning of the game.
hmm.
And yeah, you hop on a float and the timer kicks on for 5 minutes. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to do. If you go outside of the circle, you get kicked off the float. But if you don't do anything, like nothing happens. You're not racing anybody. You're by yourself. And
They're not even against the timer.
I let the timer go 5 minutes. I sat my switch down, let it go, and no, it just prompted said, "All right, your time's up. Get off. You're done."
Interesting.
Hmm.
I didn't. Yeah, I'll have to go back and see if maybe I can figure it out. I just know right out the not right out the gate, but after that area that you're at, the next level or yeah, the next like section you get or have to go to. Um, I thought the quests were much more challenging because it wasn't immediately apparent what you're supposed to do.
Okay. Well, I look forward to the challenge then. Um, yeah, I'm loving the game so far. It feels it feels a little, I don't want to say more open worldy, but the environments that you're in, I feel like there's more stuff that you can do in them. Like they've kind
Yes,
of populated it more.
for sure. Because in the original one, the first area you get comparatively to the first area you get this time around, it's definitely way more populated with
Hmm.
things to do, people to talk to, and pretty much, and at least in Sports Story, almost everyone has a quest for you. Almost everyone,
Right.
and that's a lot of people.
Now, with it just releasing, what are your thoughts on, well, should I play Golf Story first or can I jump right into Sports Story? I mean,
So I was thinking about this as I was playing Sports Story. Actually, like, how do I recommend this to someone? Like, could you technically play Sports Story without playing Golf Story? Yes, you could, but you will miss out on some of the relationship
mhm,
dynamics between the characters.
yep,
You will miss out on like who these people are and why they're here and stuff. So, and on that aspect, it is important, but it's not gonna recall. It doesn't. The golf story, I mean, sports story does not recall a bunch of like references to the first game in any
right,
way, but just the main characters. You don't get introduced to them in sports story. They're just there. So
right.
and they because they were introduced in golf story.
And I think the golfing mechanics are better explained in Golf Story as well when you're
Yes.
starting out,
Yes.
whereas it doesn't really go into any of the tutorial for how to golf, which is not hard to pick up on,
No, if
but
you've played
still.
Mario Golf, it's literally the same thing or same
Mhm.
concept. But sports story also doesn't go into how to play the other sports,
That's a good point too. Yeah,
which I was surprised about because I'm like, I see what these words, what each button does for volleyball, but what do they do? Like pass, obviously is pass,
right.
but I didn't know what anything else did.
That's a good point. Yeah, volleyball was a little challenging for me.
Yeah, me too.
Hmm.
And when you get to soccer, it will be harder as well. I mean, football.
Football. Yes, football.
We just had the World
Um,
Cup.
so yeah, Sports Story. It's on sale right now for 14.99 on this eShop.
Yes, I would highly recommend it if you're listening and if you have a Switch, because that's having a Switch is very important. I would highly recommend getting it so far. I mean, I'm having a great time. I'm laughing, and I don't want to put it down.
Yeah. It's not on sale for 14.99. It is 14.99 on the eShop. I just feel like telling people things are on sale might make them go buy the game.
Hey, you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. But it is worth every penny of 14.99.
Absolutely. I mean, $15. You got $15. If you got a
Yeah.
Switch, you got $15.
That's two trips to Starbucks. If one trip if you got a family.
Yeah, exactly. um, so we have been making our comeback this year, I guess you should say.
As we
We
take a break.
as we take a break. I mean, we rebranded. We were Real Dudes
Yeah.
Podcast. We're now KNK's Indie Gaming Corner. We've played a lot of games. We've done a lot of streaming. Um, November hit. I got COVID. You you got busy,
I got
and then
COVID too.
oh, you got COVID too. That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot. We both got COVID. And then after we got over it, we just haven't been back. But we also have played a lot of games.
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
over this past year, is there any game in particular that stuck out to you? I don't know if we would like go into like game of the year kind of thing or
Right.
whatever, but what games have stuck out to you over the past year for sure?
Oh, I can easily say Stray is one of
I
them.
was gonna say
Yeah.
that.
Um, well, I guess we'll just start with that then.
Sure.
Yeah, Stray. Um, what's not to love about the game?
You're a cat in a dystopian future, and you do cat things.
Right. There's robots. Um, beautiful but not beautiful environment.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
very very disgusting area, but it's also very well detailed. Um, and yeah, you're a cat. You're doing cat things. The game starts out uh, with emotion, and the game really ends with emotion as
Hmm.
well. Um,
Which
I
I
loved
was
it.
not expecting from a game like that
Mm-mm.
to be on the verge of tears literally within the first 5 minutes, and then on the verge of tears again within the last 20-ish minutes of the game.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's a beautiful game. I don't think there's a whole lot of replayability to the game itself, but it is definitely one of the most unique experiences of 2022. Um, I love it. If you want to know more about it, I mean, you can go back and hear the episode. Um,
Absolutely.
was there anything that you absolutely loved about the game, or was it just the experience itself?
For me, it was the experience itself. It was it was challenging, but not too challenging.
Mhm.
There was enough things to do, like side quests and things, to keep me busy, without feeling tedious or overwhelming, which I think is a really hard balance to do. And progression itself was, I always felt like I was moving the game along no matter what I
Yeah.
was doing, which is really, really neat to do. I mean, but it is a short experience and it is a little bit on the expensive side, if I remember right, like $30 or something like that for what it is. So that would be my only criticism of it. It's a bit more expensive for the amount of playability you get out of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I forgot it was $30.
Yeah. It's like 30 or 40, I don't remember. It's on sale right now if you're listening and it's still around the holidays. It is on sale currently though.
Okay. I would pay $30 for the experience. It's well worth
Hmm.
it. And you know, it's you spend $15 going to the movies, and that's like a 2 hour experience.
This is
If you're
easily.
not paying for food
Oh yeah.
or drinks. Um, so $30 is well worth it. It's five hours, I believe.
Yeah, I
Five,
would say
six
in the four
hours.
to 6 hour mark in that area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely one game that stuck out to me. What about you? Do you have any games that that has stuck out to you throughout the year?
Other than Stray, I would probably say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hmm.
That was an unexpected, um, great multiplayer experience that really captures the essence and spirit of the original arcade game that we all know and love. Whether you're a TMNT fan or not, it really hammers in on a lot of different things that you can easily pick up and just go with friends or even by yourself.
Yeah, I think we dumped a good amount of hours into it. I know I beat
Hmm.
it 2, 3 times, and then we also streamed, and we streamed the entire playthrough, didn't we?
We did in one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning before we finished.
yeah, yeah. That was yeah, that game is so good. I can't speak highly enough about it. I have not played the arcade collection that they released. Not obviously Tribute Games didn't release it, but another
Right.
company did. I've heard good things about it, but what Tribute Games did with Shredder's Revenge, and they're still updating it. I love it. They
Hmm.
are still taking care of that sweet baby and uh, giving us new updates. I saw there was like a filter update with the game uh, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe,
Hmm.
and I would love to see a sequel to it or DLC. I still want to see DLC where they introduce different characters. Um, maybe from different franchises too.
Oh, that would be fun.
Hmm.
Different 90s franchises, maybe even, you
Yep.
know?
Darkwing Duck.
Hey, let's
Mm.
go. Oh, and I was looking because my memory. I feel like this past year has been such a blur, you know.
Hmm.
And I was just looking through a list of games, and I have to give a shout out also to Road 96 because that game
Okay.
was just I can't recommend. It's a hard game to recommend to people. I will say that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy about that yesterday because we were just talking on the phone, looking through the eShop. He's like, "Oh
Hmm.
yeah, I want to pick up Road 96." I said, "It's a good game. It's a heavy game, and it
Hmm.
touches heavily on politics as
Hmm.
well." Um, so just it I feel like it dives into a sensitive subject.
Absolutely, especially in the environment that we live in today. But
Hmm.
also, like, it just made me realize because it's a French studio that made it.
Hmm.
A lot of the if you feel like you're being attacked by this game, you're not as unique as you think you are in the world
Yeah,
because it's a French
happens a lot of
studio.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a French studio and they were commenting on French politics mostly, not American or whatever, like, wherever you may live. I mean, our audience is mostly American, but it's just one of those
right.
things. It's like the environment we live in the United States, politically speaking, is not as unique as you might think it is. That just kind of
Yeah.
opened my eyes to that kind of aspect to it. But it dives into a lot of heavy themes, and it obviously is leaning towards one way politically as far as what's good and what's bad, you know. And
Hmm.
so it's that's why it can be hard to recommend a game like that. Not that it's bad or it was terribly written or terribly done or anything. It was beautifully done, wonderfully written. I was touched by the game, and it's really well done.
Hmm. As well said, Carrington.
Thank
Well
you.
said. I did watch your playthrough on Twitch, and yeah, it was. I got the experience. I'd still like to play through it myself, but I got the
Hmm.
experience. I feel like a lot of people were streaming at the time while you were playing because it just released, and a lot of people picked up on the game.
Hmm.
And it is a awesome experience.
Absolutely, and there is a new game plus mode which I started it, and I got about halfway through. I think I started it on stream. I played more off stream, and it's more of the same, but not as well. There are a lot of experiences that I never got to see on my second playthrough that I never saw on my first playthrough. So everyone's experience is different,
Yeah,
and every
yeah,
playthrough is different.
that's what makes the game unique. It's another 30. No, it's probably what, $20 game.
I don't remember. I got it on Game Pass,
Oh,
or it's
oh,
on Game Pass.
yes. The benefits of having Game Pass.
Absolutely.
I don't want to not mention Citizen Sleeper.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Another French studio.
Yes, game's incredible. I've been wanting to restart it and go through it again. And then Sports Story dropped, and then I'm also playing a ton of other games right now.
Yep.
But it
Yep.
is still in my head. I still want to get back to it. It's an incredible experience. It's heavily inspired tabletop RPG sci-fi space game that is just an incredible experience. Incredible writing,
Hmm.
uh, beautiful artwork,
Hmm.
and fantastic music in the game. If you like
That game
tabletop games, yeah,
that game's also hard to recommend because it is such a slow start.
yeah.
But once you start like realizing one, what you're supposed to be doing, and two, what the story is about, I, it's a fantastic game. Thank you for reminding me about that because that was top notch
Hmm.
writing. That's another one that deals on a lot of heavy themes and such. Not as on the nose as Road 96, but they're there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. You have to spend like 2 hours playing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
before you understand what's going on and how the mechanics work. And I'm glad that you have to do that, and it doesn't hold your hand and start explaining everything to you. Um, it just clicks, and once it clicks, it sinks its claws into you and holds on to you. And I've told multiple people that I've bought it as
yep.
gifts for people. I was like, "Here, you need to play this. This is right up your alley." And I said, "Just give it at least an hour, if
Hmm.
not 2 hours, and you'll understand what this game is about.
So yeah, you hit the nail on why Citizen Sleeper is so good because I could not explain it any better. That was very well put. I can't
Thanks.
believe I forgot about it because, like I said, I feel like this past year has been such a huge blur.
Hmm.
Um, we've worked so hard to get Twitch up and going and still
We
do stuff
did.
like this.
Yeah. It's been a busy year. Some of my favorite gaming moments is playing Bigfoot and
Yes,
Inside the Backrooms with you.
yes, yes,
Two terribly, uh, not terribly, terribly is a bad word. Um, Two games that are terrifying
yes,
and fun and funny at the same time.
yes.
And I've enjoyed playing those with you. Although we beat Bigfoot and we killed him
Yeah.
very cheaply,
Yes, yes, we did.
we did beat it.
That's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
We did beat him. I forgot now that you say that. I forgot about that. Because the game is good, but what's
It's
the word I'm looking
buggy.
for? It's buggy. I didn't want
Yeah,
to say I didn't want to use that word because it sounds harsh, but it's true.
it is.
And playing Backrooms with you has been a fun experience as
It's
well.
good $5.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to finish it still. It's just
Yeah, my
the
goodness.
problem is every time we stop, we have to start all over again. So
I
that's
know. There has to be some kind of save or something.
yeah, or something, or we just got to set aside two,
A
three
day.
hours because we know at this point we know how to get past the first two rooms.
Right. Gosh, the game's terrifying.
Absolutely.
Terrifying. Um,
And it's
I've
funny
been
because we haven't been doing this for the past month or so. I don't even know what's up and coming right now.
I will say
Hmm.
there is a game that I reviewed for another magazine that I started writing for called The Patch. It released this week. Actually, it released last week, the 15th. It's called Melatonin. And it is a rhythm based game that involves you diving into dreams. And if you like rhythm games and you like chill vibes, it's $15 on Steam. It'll be coming out on Nintendo Switch as well, and it is a fun rhythm game. It's super lighthearted. Um, that I can't recommend enough. It's simple, but there's also like a really hard challenge mode on there as well.
Hmm.
Um, it's beautiful game. The catch for me was a lot of the music revolves around lo-fi music, and I've been listening to a lot
Hey.
of lo-fi music lately.
Hmm.
So it's pretty good. Simple mechanics. You just tap. For me, I played on PC. Tap spacebar or left and right directional buttons to along with the rhythm. So yeah, man. I know you like music, and I feel like you like rhythm games. So this might be right up your alley.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to check that out because since we started streaming again, or this past year, I reignited my love for Rock Band as well. So yeah, I
Hmm.
definitely love those rhythm games.
Yeah, this one's super cool. Um, I feel like that's the latest new game that I've played. That's an indie game. I have sunk so much time into Marvel Snap.
I was
I don't
wondering how you're
even.
gonna bring this
Yeah,
up. Yeah, yeah.
it's taken over. Like last night, I wanted to play more Sports Story, but it's so easy. I was just sitting on the couch
Hmm.
playing Marvel Snap, and I get obsessed with creating new decks and new
Hmm.
mechanics with decks. So Marvel Snap is a mobile game. It's totally free. You don't have to spend a dime on it. I bought the season pass. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to edit that out. I bought the season pass for the game, and I spend time creating new decks. I have a few decks that revolve around. One is just all beefy characters that pack a hard punch. I have another deck that revolves around crippling the opponent, so powers that'll um, destroy their cards or shut their location down. And then my favorite is called Squirrel Power, where I utilize Squirrel Girl and her squirrels that she shoots out and power them up like crazy. Um, but then also, beating missions in the game, getting more what's the word, little silver card thingies to upgrade my cards
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
max them out. um Gosh, I've spent a lot of time. My card collection level is like almost 800.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have not bought any I've not spent money on upgrading my cards. It's all been through playing the game.
I I haven't spent as much time as you, but I do pick it up probably once a week or so. And
Mhm.
but when I do pick it up that one time in that one week, I'm on it almost pretty much all day. It's really well done. Because I think mobile games kind of have a stigma against them a lot of times because a lot of times they are like, this free to play and oh, you have to pay to play. But in this game, I've barely lost a match, and the only thing I've paid for is the season pass, like you.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to spend money to play the game. And the way entertainment is moving, everybody likes that short form media
Hmm.
where it's like, all right, 30-second clips, 8-second clips. Well, this game does a really good job of providing you matches are like 3 minutes most.
Yeah, they're
So
not
you can sit on the toilet and you can play a match or two or three or four or five
easily.
or six. Uh, and you know, when are done, you can finish up. You can do your daily missions and be done and move
Hmm.
on. It does a good job of giving you something to do every day, if not just messing around with your decks and either rebuilding them or building new ones. I've not played a card game like this. I've tried playing what's Blizzard's
Oh, it's 'cause Jordan plays it all the time.
why can I not? Oh, great.
I don't
Blizzard
remember,
has a
but
card
Blizzard has
game.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've tried playing it multiple times. I cannot get into it. Nothing against it. I felt like I just couldn't get into it. But the moment that I downloaded it, started playing it, and realizing how great it is, I couldn't stop playing it. And it's sad because I want to play other games, but there are times where I'm like literally just playing this. Yeah.
I had that feeling too, except not with Marvel Snap,
Yeah.
but with Persona 5. I
Oh my gosh, you're still playing it.
still, and I convinced my brother to get it also. Now he's
Yeah.
going through it and playing it. If you are, it's one of those games I heard about since it dropped. Joker, who's the main character in Persona 5, he's in Smash Brothers. So I've known about the game
Right.
for a while, and I keep hearing how great it is. And then, of course, Microsoft was like, it's on Game Pass now. So,
Yeah.
like, all right,
All
I'll give it a
right.
try, see what it's all about. And I can't put it down. It's every time I pick it up. I made a tweet about it the other day. Like, every time I play it, I blink and 5 hours goes by and I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. Like, it's that good.
There's something about a good RPG.
Hmm.
That is an RPG, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And this time of year too. I mean,
Hmm.
we're inside more.
Hmm.
Um,
For sure. Because I haven't
I
played disc golf in months.
I remember playing right when Mass Effect 3 came out years ago. I took that winter and I played 1, 2, and 3
Hmm.
all in the same winter. And there's something special about playing through a big game like that or a big series throughout a season
Hmm.
and just enjoying it. And I don't know, it just those and that trilogy will always be something special to me because the time that I played it, when I played it, and playing it collectively together as a trilogy, it's a good experience. But yeah, so I get your obsession with Persona and why.
Hmm.
Now I don't understand the game at all, but I feel like with all the elements put together, it makes for a good experience.
100%. And me and my brother, we talk about it. He's catching up to me. I'm like, oh, I gotta pick it up. I gotta pick up the pace as well because I didn't play it for like a week or so. But the story, it has its teeth in me so hard.
Yeah,
Um, and I was telling my brother also because it's also like a time management game as well. So you have to like carefully choose how you want to spend your time. Do you want to spend it with friends? Do you want to spend it studying? Do you want to work out, or do you want to work to make money? Like there's all, and everything has its benefits to it, but it costs you time. At
Hmm.
the same time, you have to go into the dungeons and dungeons, so to speak, the game's versions of it at least, and progress the story along as well. So it's like it is it's such a unique experience, and I just can't speak about it enough. From it feels like you're playing an actual anime, from the way the game looks to the
Wow.
music, the story, everything. Like it feels and looks like you're playing an anime. It's so good.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
It's also
Uh,
a hard game to recommend because the themes are on the nose and then it's heavy. I mean,
yeah,
I won't say what the game's about because I I mean,
it's because it's a Japanese RPG,
no, not like
and nobody knows what the theme's about.
that. Nothing like, well, it does. There is that as well. I mean, but I mean, it's just like the situation some of the characters get in. Me and my brother were talking about like that's probably why it has the M rating. Otherwise, it doesn't deserve it.
Now it's Persona 5. Do
Hmm.
you need to play Persona 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you play Persona 5?
So get this right. No, you don't. But also, Persona is a spin-off of another main franchise called Shin Megami Tensei or something like that.
I believe you.
So it's a franchise within a franchise.
Okay. Well, cool.
It's
I
so good.
I'll have to maybe think about that game.
There
We'll
you
see.
go.
I don't even have enough time to put into other games aside from Marvel Snap.
And the
Uh,
average completion time, if you're just going through the main story for Persona, is 108 hours. Like
yeah, I don't have time for
that's
that.
minimum completion time.
Mm.
Minimum.
Kudos to you for being able to. Someone sent me a reel the other day of it was like gaming in your 30s,
Hmm.
and it's just it goes through different various scenarios like your backlog continues to grow, you never finish a game, you end up falling asleep before playing,
Hmm.
and it for me it touched very close to home.
Absolutely.
I find myself falling asleep early. I find myself not getting as engrossed into the games that I used to.
And I was thinking about this the other day. Like as a kid, you've got school, you have homework, you have chores before you could even touch going outside or playing video games. But I had more time back then than I do now. Whereas
Yeah.
work, it's 8 hours a day. Sure, maybe I cook. That might be 30 minutes at most on average, I'd say, to cook a meal. I
Mhm.
technically have more time now than I did back when I was a kid. And I have no time to play games today.
Yeah. It's because you're tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Yeah. I don't have somebody driving me to work. I had to drive
Hmm.
myself to work.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh well. Well, this was fun.
100%. It was nice to see you, Kyle, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can get back to having a somewhat normal schedule, streaming, recording, things like that. And
Yeah. I would like to stream at some point in life again. I would like to. I thought about streaming Sports Story yesterday, and then I realized I just wanted to play it. So,
I
need to get
understand.
gonna get YouTube back in shape. Gonna get Instagram back in shape, and just start posting stuff more. It's a new year,
Absolutely. It's a new
almost a new
year,
year.
almost
It's
a new
coming.
year.
Yeah,
It's almost the new us.
yeah,
And we'll be back at it again regularly. And it's good to be back and good talking to you again.
yeah. Everybody, follow us on all the socials, KK Gaming, and I want to know if you are playing Marvel Snap. Tweet me your decks, your DECKS, please. I want to see what everybody is utilizing and how you are beating other people online.
There you go. There
That's it
you
for
have
me.
it. And
Yeah.
if you can tweet me if you playing
Well,
Persona 5 and we can talk about it.
please do.
And with that, you guys have a fantastic 2022.